We are conditioned to measure our value in hours. You trade physical effort for a corresponding wage. Renting your time enforces a linear one-to-one ratio of input to output. When you stop working, you stop earning. Financial freedom is mathematically impossible under this constraint. Wealth is a learned skill set. It follows a structural pattern that scales when you align your unique interests and background with market demand. Building this system requires separating money from wealth. Money is how we transfer value. It is a collection of social IOUs for work done in the past. Status follows a different logic. Status is a hierarchical, zero-sum game where your elevation requires pushing someone else down. Wealth consists of assets that earn while you sleep. It is the business, the computer program, or the investment that generates value independently of your presence. Achieving actual freedom requires abandoning the linear status game to construct a nonlinear wealth equation. Consider this time value ledger. On the left is an hour spent arguing with a contractor over a $100 bill. On the right is the invisible cost of that hour if you value your time at $5,000. You must set this aspirational rate long before the market recognizes it. If fixing a problem or completing a task costs less than your aspirational hourly rate to delegate, you outsource it. Salaries track your physical inputs. Ownership tracks your actual outputs. Assigning a rigid, aggressive value to your time is the first step to decouple your labor from your economic output. This diagram maps the foundation of the wealth equation. We start with specific knowledge, the intersection of your innate traits, your childhood obsessions, and future societal demand. This center point is untrainable value. If society can train you in a classroom to do a job, it can eventually train someone else to replace you. You uncover specific knowledge by following your genuine intellectual curiosity. It looks like exhausting work to observers, but it feels like play to you. No one can compete with you on being you. You escape competition when your output is an extension of your own authenticity. Specific knowledge requires the catalyst of accountability. Society distributes outsized rewards to those willing to take business risks under their own name. Modern accountability offers asymmetrical risk. The downside is limited by bankruptcy laws, while the upside of public trust is infinite equity. Combining authentic, untrainable skills with public accountability forces the market to compensate you with ownership rather than a wage. Ownership is a static asset. To scale it, you need leverage. We live in an era where physical effort is disconnected from economic impact. The oldest form of leverage is labor, other humans working for you. Managing people is complex and requires someone else's permission to lead. The second tier is capital. The 20th century was defined by figures like John D. Rockefeller, who multiplied their decisions using money to construct vast industrial systems. Both labor and capital are permissioned leverage. Someone has to agree to follow you, or an investor has to agree to fund you. Code and media function as permissionless multipliers, with zero marginal cost of replication. A young Bill Gates understood that software creates a product that can be duplicated infinitely for free. Code is an army of robots working in data centers while you sleep. You do not need anyone's approval to deploy it. Media scales precisely the same way. A podcaster like Joe Rogan reaches millions of listeners globally, generating massive value outside of traditional corporate infrastructure. Transitioning to permissionless leverage is the mechanism that separates a comfortable living from exponential wealth. Observe the trajectories of these two ships. When you apply infinite leverage, a 1-degree variance in judgment results in a massive discrepancy in the destination. Judgment is the primary skill in a leveraged economy. Excellent judgment requires clear thinking. Physicist Richard Feynman solved problems using foundational arithmetic and logic, refusing to rely on jargon to see reality accurately. You build this clarity by collecting mental models across disciplines, like evolution and game theory, rather than relying on memorized patterns. Investors like Charlie Munger use these models to navigate rigid constraints, like the principal agent problem, the reality that owners optimize for the asset, while employees optimize for themselves. Raw leverage applied without precise, ego-free judgment simply amplifies a bad decision into a catastrophic failure. Making money solves material problems, but lusting for it creates endless internal anxiety. Desire is a self-imposed contract to remain unhappy until you achieve a specific outcome. The antidote to this state of desire is neutrality. Like this tree, you observe the present moment exactly as it is, without judging it. Peace is happiness at rest. Happiness is peace in motion. Accepting reality removes the ego's distortions, granting you the mental clarity necessary to execute high-leverage decisions. These variables form the framework for modern success. You take your specific knowledge, wrap it in accountability, scale it with permissionless leverage, and multiply it by your judgment. This architecture produces sovereignty over your own time. Retirement begins when today is complete in and of itself, and you stop sacrificing the present for an imaginary tomorrow. Stop playing the zero-sum status game. Begin building your architecture of leverage today.